Hello everyone, this is the first question. Let's see the problem. Our problem is to write a program that rotates an array of size n by d elements. Let's understand this. Suppose we are given an array that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so there are two ways to solve this problem. The first way is rotating one by one, and there is also another method that we will be exploring. First, we need to assign the zero indexes value to the temp variable. Okay, then we need to shift all the elements one index back. So suppose after assigning the value 1 to the temp, we need to assign 6 to fourth index, 5 to third index, 4 to second index, 3 to first index, and 2 to zeroth index. And after doing all this, again we need to assign the temp value to this last index. So this is how we have rotated the array by one element. So to rotate it by d elements, we need to do this whole process d times. So that is why the time complexity of this problem is order of n into d. Okay, so this is how our array would look like after one time it loops. So one will go to the end, and all the elements will shift one position back, right? And after looping it d times, our array would finally give the result. Okay, so if we talk about the second way to solve this problem, it is using a temp array. So what is the approach here? Suppose we are given an array to sort it with d elements, right? So we will store the first d elements of the array in a temp array. This temp array will be created by us in the code. Okay, and this is obviously extra space, and we need to then shift all the remaining values to the zeroth index and so on. Like the first remaining value to the zeroth index, the second remaining value to the first index, the third remaining value to the second index, and so on. And after doing all this, we need to again assign the value of temp array to the last remaining values of the array. Okay, so this is what we need to do in this way, and the time complexity of this solution is order of n, but the space complexity will be here order of d, because we are using the temp array which will be storing d elements. So in the previous method or this method, it is not requiring any extra space. So we will explore this method by code. So let's code it. So I'm coming here to Java Online Compiler. Okay, I selected language as Java. You can select anyone. Okay, so let me code this problem. So I have created a main class. Let me make a main method here. So main method is created. Let me also make an array to test whether our code is working fine or not. And okay, so I have made the main method. Okay, let me create our method to rotate the elements. Okay, so I will give the name to this method as rotate, and array, and it will also take an integer d. Okay, so it's done. So now what we need to do, I am declaring here n, which is storing the length of the array. Okay, and now I will run a while loop till d is not equal to 0. Why I'm doing this, I'll just tell in a minute. Okay, so this is actually So we will be writing a inner for loop here to shift the between elements. Okay, like if I show you, this was our method, so we need to shift all these elements to one position back. So this will be done using for loop, and to rotate it by d elements it will be done using while loop. Okay, so let me code the remaining part. So inside this, let me declare a temp variable int temp, and it will be storing the first index, 0th index value, right? So I have stored here 0th index value, and now I will run a for loop, and I is less than n minus 1 and I plus plus. So inside this for loop, I will assign array I is equals to array I plus 1. So this will be I plus 1. Okay, so this is all we need to do in this. Okay, and at last I will assign the temp value back to the last index. Okay, so this is the last index and it is equal to the temp, right? Now that's all. Let me print the array, println so let me also import. Okay, so this is all we need to do in the coding part. Let's run our code. Okay, we didn't call here our method, right? So we need to call here method. So I'll write rotate and rotate array, and I will rotate it by 3 elements. Fine, so let's check again. Okay, so our array has been rotated by 3 elements. Okay, so this is all we need to do in this. Thank you.